Chosen one, don't swipe past this moment. The quiet pressure you felt the instant you woke up today, the sense that you're already behind, already late, already missing something, that wasn't random, and it wasn't just stress. Something deeper was at work. The enemy has been trying to rush you on purpose, because he understands one thing very well. When you hurry, you lose clarity. When you panic, you misstep. He wants you to skip this message and convince yourself you don't have time. But God interrupted your scroll because you're not running out of time. You're stepping into divine acceleration. Something shifted while you slept. The atmosphere around your life changed overnight. And right now, you're still operating with yesterday's mindset in a brand new spiritual time zone. If you move forward today without recalibrating first, you'll feel like you're swimming against an unseen current. So pause with me, right now. Not with your body, but with your spirit. Close the door of your mind. Silence the noise for just a few minutes. Picture yourself stepping out of the chaos and into stillness. This is your briefing moment. This is where your timeline gets secured. Think back to the very first feeling you noticed when you opened your eyes this morning, before your feet hit the floor, before you checked your phone. Most people just feel sleepy. But yours was different, wasn't it? A weight in your chest, tightness in your throat, your heart racing even though you weren't moving. Then the thoughts rushed in, not slowly, instantly. Everything you didn't finish yesterday, everything you feel behind on, the fear that time is moving faster than your progress. A voice whispered, "You're wasting your life. Everyone else is ahead. You're still stuck." And even now there's a restless urge in you to move, to fix, to grind harder. But listen closely. That urge to rush is the trap. If you click away to be productive, today will feel busy but unfruitful. You'll burn energy without gaining ground. But if you stay with this message to the end, I'm going to give you 3 precise spiritual keys. Keys that cause time to work for you instead of against you. Before we go any further, if this is already resonating, like this video, subscribe to the channel and comment, "I'm ready." That simple act aligns you with what's being released here. Now let's name what you're feeling. The world calls it anxiety. People say it's stress. But hear this as a prophetic alert. This is not anxiety. This is spiritual acceleration. Think of a rocket sitting on a launch pad. For a long time, nothing happens. That's been your season. The waiting, the stillness, the silence. But when the countdown hits 0, the engines ignite. Suddenly there's pressure, weight, difficulty breathing. Your heart pounds. Is something wrong? No. The rocket is doing exactly what it was designed to do. You're not feeling heavy because you're failing. You're feeling pressure because God has increased the speed of your destiny. You're shifting from walking into flight, and your mind hasn't caught up to the velocity yet. That discomfort is your old operating system trying to process a new level of glory. This is what the prophet Habakkuk experienced. People love quoting the promise. The vision is for an appointed time, but they forget what came before it. Habakkuk was frustrated, angry, crying out to God, asking why everything felt delayed and silent. He felt exactly what you're feeling now, and God's answer carried a paradox. Though it seems delayed, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not be late. That tension you feel, it lives in the gap between human perception and divine timing. In that gap, it feels late. In heaven, everything is right on schedule. You're not behind. The vision isn't behind. You're in the stretch before release, like a slingshot pulled all the way back. The enemy wants you to misread this moment. He wants you to see pressure as proof of failure. He wants you to hustle harder, sacrifice rest, force doors open. That's the effort trap, and it's where chosen ones burn out right before breakthrough. The effort trap says your worth is measured by speed. It convinces you to treat yourself like a machine, cut sleep, stack tasks, push harder. But that's not how royalty operates. That's not how the anointed move. You're trying to fix a spiritual compression with physical effort, and it's draining you before the day even begins. Here's the truth that flips everything. You don't feel rushed because you're too slow. You feel rushed because time itself is compressing. In the spirit realm, God is doing quick work. Long journeys are being shortened. What once took decades is being condensed into months. This pressure is not punishment, it's propulsion. This is divine acceleration. This is spiritual G-force. And if you stay aligned, you won't burn out. You'll break through. When you're inside a high G-force environment, the most dangerous response is panic. In fighter jets, pilots are trained for this. If they tense up, move erratically, or fight the force during a sharp turn, they black out. Not because the jet is malfunctioning, but because their body is resisting acceleration instead of cooperating with it. That's what's happening to you right now, spiritually. You're not failing. You're losing clarity because you're struggling against the acceleration instead of settling into it. You don't need to move faster. You need alignment. You've been staring at the wrong clock. The one on the wall measures chronos, minutes, deadlines, pressure. But there's another clock operating right now. Kairos time, divine timing, strategic moments. The Apostle Paul revealed the key in Ephesians 5:16 when he said, redeem the time because the days are evil. Most people hear that and think it means better scheduling or cutting distractions. But that's not what he was saying. The Greek word Paul used for redeem is exagorazo, a marketplace term. It means to purchase something out of captivity, to reclaim it from the slave market. Paul wasn't talking about productivity, he was talking about rescue. He was saying the world system is designed to steal your hours, chain them to fear, distraction, and endless labor. Time is constantly being kidnapped, and God is calling you to buy it back, to reclaim your day before it gets enslaved. You can't do that while acting like a frantic servant. You can only do it when you step in with authority, as an owner. So how do you shift from panic to power? Here's the first framework. It's called the silent seal. This is what stabilizes you in acceleration. It sounds simple, but it will challenge you deeply because your flesh is addicted to noise. Think about your morning. What's the first thing you reach for when you wake up? For most people, it's the phone. In that single moment, the battle is already lost. The light hits your eyes and instantly, the world pours its agenda into your spirit. News brings fear. Social media brings comparison. Emails bring obligation. Before you've even prayed, you've opened the gates of your inner city and let invading voices take position. You start the day reacting instead of ruling. The silent seal breaks that cycle. Picture your mind as a fortress with a massive front gate. Right now, that gate is wide open and noise is flooding in. In your imagination, walk up to that gate. Grab it. It's heavy. It takes effort. But close it. Slam it shut. Hear the lock engage. For the first 15 minutes of your day, that gate stays closed. No scrolling, no reading, no outside voices. During this window, you don't consume. You create and command. When you wake up tomorrow and feel that itch to check notifications, visualize that sealed gate and say, not yet, I'm meeting with the King. That is how you redeem time. You reclaim the first portion of your day from captivity. And when you do this, something powerful happens. You create a 0 point, a still place, where God can download strategy for the acceleration you're in. I know the objection already rising in you. I can't disconnect. People need me. I'll miss something important. Let me tell you about someone who said the same thing. A woman named Sarah, an executive leading a global team, reached out recently. She was unraveling. Every morning at 4 a.m., she checked emails immediately, terrified that if she paused, everything would collapse. She felt the same chest pressure, the same fear you feel now. I told her to apply the silent seal. She resisted, said her world moved too fast, but desperation pushed her to try. For 3 days, she protected just 15 minutes. No phone, just silence. On the third morning, she didn't receive an email. She received clarity, a God-given insight into a structural issue she had missed for 2 years. That single idea saved millions and reduced her workload drastically. She didn't redeem time by rushing. She redeemed it by listening. But before that breakthrough came, she had to face something darker, something you'll have to face too. The moment she embraced silence, a voice rose up inside her, a voice that said she was behind, too late, past her prime, that this acceleration was for others, not her. That voice has a name, the shadow of irrelevance. It speaks when you see others succeed. It whispers when you compare your life to theirs. It tells you that you missed your window. It says everyone else moved forward while you stalled, that God handed out assignments and you weren't there. And that thought burns. It creates urgency that feels like fire in your gut. Don't run from that feeling. Step into it. Picture that fear as a heavy stone in your hands, the weight of years you think were wasted. Now hear the truth. In God's kingdom, there are no late bloomers, only deep rooters. The enemy wants you comparing your beginning to someone else's harvest, but he hides the cost. Look at Moses, 40 years in obscurity before leadership. Was he late? No, he was being prepared. If Moses had led at 20, he would have ruled with ego and violence. By 80, he ruled with humility and authority. The delay wasn't denial, it was refinement. Jeremiah speaks of the potter's wheel. The clay that stays on the wheel the longest isn't rejected. It's trusted, pressed, reshaped, strengthened, because it's meant to hold weight. You weren't hidden because you were forgotten. You were hidden because what's coming is heavy. If God had released you earlier, you would have cracked under the glory. Your obscurity wasn't punishment, it was protection. And now, the wheel is slowing. Your delay? That was your development. Remember Sarah, the executive I shared with you earlier? Her breakthrough didn't come simply from putting down her phone. It came because, in the stillness, she confronted the shadow she had been running from. During her silent seal, she had to sit there and let those old fears roar. The terror that if she paused, she would be forgotten. If she slowed down, the world would pass her by. But she didn't move. She stayed. She realized her value wasn't in speed, it was in her source. And when she leaned into the stillness, the strategy she needed, the insight that saved her company millions, didn't come from noise. It came from silence. She wasn't behind. She was being positioned for a slingshot launch. And that is exactly where you are right now. You are being pulled back, further than it feels safe, further than it feels fair. It feels like regression. It feels like everyone is ahead of you. But physics dictates the deeper you are pulled, the faster, higher, and farther you will fly the moment God releases you. That tension you feel, that heaviness in your chest, that's your spiritual slingshot being drawn back. Now that we've silenced the accuser, now that you know you are not late, you are loaded, I need to show you the secret mechanism behind this acceleration. Because understanding you're ready is one thing. Understanding how God bends time is another. There's a hidden truth in the Hebrew language that explains how you can lose 20 years and receive them all back in one day. Once you grasp this, you will never view time the same way again. Here's the secret. You've been looking at the wrong clock. You've been living in Chronos time. Linear, sequential, tick-tock, minutes, hours, days, years. In Chronos, if you lose 10 years, you're 10 years behind. It's unforgiving. That is what makes you panic. God doesn't operate on Chronos. He operates on Kairos time. Divine timing, appointed moments, the vertical interruption of your horizontal timeline. Think of it like this. Chronos is taking the stairs. 20 flights were step by step, sweat dripping, effort heavy. Kairos, that's the elevator. Step in, stand still, and in 30 seconds you're at the same level that stair climbers took 30 minutes to reach. The reason you feel urgency, heaviness, the chest pressure, your spirit is sensing the elevator is about to open. You've been exhausting yourself climbing stairs, but God is inviting you into an acceleration anomaly. In a Kairos moment, results appear that are mathematically impossible in Chronos time. That's why some people go from broke at 39 to millionaires at 40. That's why decades of singlehood turn into a marriage within months. They didn't hustle harder, they entered a Kairos window. And the Bible confirms this. Joel 2:25 says, I will restore to you the years the locust has eaten. Notice it says years, not money, not crops. Years. How can lost years be restored? Hebrew law provides the answer. The word for restore is shalom, where we get shalom. Shalom isn't merely give back what was lost. It's legal restitution. If a thief stole a sheep, He didn't just return one, he paid back with interest. So when God says he will shalom your years, he isn't pressing rewind. He is calculating the harvest those years would have produced, adding divine interest, and releasing the total into your present moment. That's why you feel weight in your chest, the pressure of a 10-year harvest trying to fit into 1 year. That is the G-force of the elevator God is about to launch. Stop measuring yourself against age or peers. Stop counting Chronos hours. You are not late. You are standing at the Shalom payout, and the pressure you feel is proof that the release is imminent. Now visualize this. Your spiritual GPS. Close your eyes. See a map. A blue dot, that's you. A red X, that's your destiny. For years, you've been running frantically, thinking speed was the answer. You thought if you moved fast enough, the X would appear. But in Kairos time, speed is meaningless. Alignment is everything. The enemy has tricked you into running circles around your X. But the portal, the elevator, is located precisely on that red X. The urgency you feel right now? God screaming at you, stop running, stop striving, stop forcing, stand on the X, align your frequency with me. When you align, blessings don't chase, you attract. That is why God stopped you with this video. You were drifting off the coordinates. Noise, distraction, fear, they were pulling you away. Stand still, align, be ready. But beware, the enemy knows about the Kairos elevator too. He doesn't need to destroy your whole day. He only needs to destroy your morning. The first 60 minutes are mined, traps are set, and if you misstep, you'll miss the elevator entirely. Here's the first landmine, the pillow heaviness. This is not normal tiredness. You know the difference. Normal fatigue lifts after stretching. This is supernatural weight, holding you down, whispering, just 5 more minutes. You are too tired to fight today. That is the enemy attempting to misalign you before your acceleration begins. Your body aches. You feel drained. You think, maybe I'll start tomorrow. Don't listen to that voice. That isn't your body talking. It's a spirit of slumber, sent to sedate you before you even stand on your coordinates. It's spiritual anesthesia. The enemy wants you horizontal because the moment you rise, upright and aligned, his window closes. When that heaviness hits, do not negotiate. Do not give in. Treat your bed like it's on fire. Roll out immediately, because if you stay there, you're agreeing with the lie that you are weak. And if you accept weakness at 7 a.m., you'll carry it until 7 p.m. The second trap is the digital hook, the black mirror waiting on your nightstand. Imagine it. The room is dark, your spirit open like clay, fresh from the dream realm. You tap the screen and a flood of blue light hits your eyes. Instantly, a stressful email, a news headline, a text, a social media post. Chaos injected. In that split second, the enemy hijacks your operating system. Your cortisol spikes. Your peace shatters. Instead of commanding your day, you are reacting to the world. That is why the silent seal is non-negotiable. Touch that phone first and you hand the enemy the remote control of your emotions. The third trap is sudden chaos. Have you noticed? On days you intend to focus, everything seems to go wrong. Coffee spills. Keys vanish. The car won't start. Children wake screaming. You think it's bad luck. It's not. It's a tactical skirmish, a distraction flare to break your focus. The enemy wants you to get angry, curse, or say, "Today is a bad day." The moment you speak those words, you agree with the chaos. You step off the X. King David understood this spiritual warfare. Psalm 5:3 tells us he prayed in the morning. But the Hebrew implies more. He prepared his battle station, arranging his spiritual weapons before the day began. Tomorrow, when the pillow weighs you down, recognize it. When the phone screams for attention, resist. When coffee spills, laugh. Laugh at the enemy. Say, "I see you. I see your tactics. I am still standing." Surviving these physical traps is only the first wave. Once you resist them, the enemy moves to the mental battlefield. His traps now wear your voice, your logic, your thoughts. The first mental trap is comparison. Just when you think you're aligned, you glance at social media and see someone living your dream. Someone younger, less experienced, yet seemingly ahead. A whisper says, "They are God's favorite, not you." You missed your boat. That is spiritual paralysis, envy, an anchor that stops acceleration. The enemy shows you highlight reels to make you hate your behind the scenes. Stop, look, say aloud, good for them, my turn is coming. That simple act disarms the trap. The second mental trap is imposter syndrome. It waits at the door of your purpose, your book, your business, your breakthrough. It screams, who do you think you are? You're a fraud, you're unqualified, you'll fail. Its aim is to shrink you, to retreat you into mediocrity. 1 Peter 5:8 warns, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. The Greek word katapino means to swallow whole, to drown. This is the enemy trying to consume your identity, silence your calling. If you're hearing that voice today, take it as a compliment. He attacks only where there is treasure. The intensity of the attack is proof of your destiny. Let me tell you about David, a chosen one like you. He had a project that could change his career, his Kairos moment. On presentation day, he woke early, beat the pillow heaviness, ignored the phone, aligned on the X. Then the enemy hit, computer crashed, file corrupted. Years of work seemed gone. In the past, David might have panicked, cursed, spiraled. That's exactly what the enemy wanted. He wanted David off the X. But David remembered this teaching. He stared at the blank screen, felt the panic, but refused to agree with it. He laughed. He said aloud, devil, if you're attacking me this hard, the breakthrough must be bigger than I thought. He refused panic. He refused defeat. He prayed for wisdom. 10 minutes later, he found a backup file he didn't know existed. The presentation went forward. The contract was won. The breakthrough came. David didn't win because nothing went wrong around him. He won because nothing broke inside him. That's the revelation most people miss. The real battleground isn't your workplace. It isn't your finances. It isn't the people around you. The battlefield is your response. Because the moment the enemy gains control over how you react, he gains access to where you're going next. But if you remain steady, if you stay locked onto your divine coordinates, he loses all leverage. Calm is not weakness. Calm is positioning. Now the picture is clearer. You can see the hidden explosives scattered through your personal space. You can hear the false narratives whispering in your mind. You recognize that heaviness isn't exhaustion, it's pressure. And the chaos, that's not real danger, it's a decoy. But awareness alone doesn't win wars. You don't wrestle a lion with empty hands, and you don't overcome spiritual resistance with optimism alone. You need a weapon, and God has already placed one in your hands. It's not physical, it's not emotional, it's verbal. A precision instrument designed to shift the atmosphere ahead of you, one that cuts through mental fog, silences the counterfeit voice, and forces divine timing to unlock. Here's the problem. Most believers pray powerless prayers. They plead, they request, they hope. But chosen ones don't operate from desperation. We operate from authority. And today, I'm going to teach you how to use it. I'm going to show you exactly what to say, how to say it, and when to release it, so victory is established before your day even begins. This weapon is called the authority decree. And to activate it, you must understand one critical difference. There is a gap between asking and commanding. Most people pray like survivors. God, help me get through today. God, please protect me. That's not wrong, but it's incomplete, because you are not a survivor. You are born of the Most High. You are royalty and priesthood combined, and kings don't beg. Kings legislate with their voice. A king doesn't request permission for change. He creates change when he speaks. Your atmosphere doesn't respond to tears. It responds to authority. Scripture confirms this in Job 22:28. You shall decree a thing, and it shall be established. That word decree is the key. In the original Hebrew, it's gazar, and it doesn't mean polite speech. It means to cut, to sever, to slice through resistance. When you decree, your voice becomes a blade. You carve a corridor through confusion. You open access where there was obstruction. You're not explaining your problems to God. You're informing the problem who your God is. So how do you make this practical? How do you shift from a begging mindset to a commanding posture, especially in the first hour of your day? Here's the secret. Authority doesn't shout. True authority is quiet, but weighty. Let's practice together right now. Don't move your body, just adjust your inner stance. In your imagination, see yourself standing on the edge of a vast cliff. In front of you is the ocean of your day, unpredictable, loud, restless. Waves of pressure and distraction are crashing toward you. Now notice what's in your hand, a staff, like the one Moses raised at the Red Sea. That staff represents what God has entrusted to you. You're not asking the water to calm down. You're instructing it to move. In your spirit, whispered or silent, but powerful, declare this. I command this day to align with God's will. I decree every hidden trap is neutralized now. I speak peace into confusion. I declare I am standing on grace's coordinates. Today I do not chase, I attract. Today I do not strive, I receive. I command doors of favor to open before I reach them. Pause. Feel that shift? That sensation in your chest isn't adrenaline. It's authority activating. That's Gazar cutting through resistance. When you speak like this, your day reorganizes itself. Mental fog lifts. Digital distractions lose grip. That false inner voice goes silent because it cannot overpower a king's voice. This must become your daily protocol. Every morning before you speak to people, speak to the atmosphere. You don't enter rooms and adapt. You set the temperature before arrival. If you're ready to operate at this level, type this in the comments right now. Not I hope, not I pray. Type, I command my morning. Let it stand as your written decree. But listen carefully. Holding the weapon isn't the full strategy. You're protected. The path is cleared, but you're still moving through contested territory. And the enemy is subtle. If he can't confront you directly, he hides in blind spots. To ensure safe passage, you need intelligence. You need radar. There's a prophetic technique called the enemy scan. It takes less than 1 minute, but it can save you hours of recovery. And I'm about to teach it to you. In warfare, no unit advances without reconnaissance. They survey the terrain. They identify high ground. They mark ambush zones. You must do the same with your day. Most chosen ones get caught because they react instead of anticipate. They pray after the hit. The enemy scan trains you to disarm the trap before contact. Let's do it now. In your mind, pull up today's schedule. Watch the next 12 hours like a film reel. Your commute, your conversations, your tasks. Now pay attention. Where does tension spike? Is there a call you're avoiding? A person who drains you? A responsibility that triggers insecurity? Stop. That's the ambush point. That's where peace is targeted. Now that you've spotted it, you're ahead. Isaiah says, I am doing a new thing. Will you not perceive it? God moves, but perception determines access. Point your focus at that moment and preempt it. In your spirit, say, I see you. I bind stress at that point. I release peace before I arrive. That trap is dismantled. When I reach that moment, I will rule, not react. That's victory. You win the day at sunrise, before pressure ever appears. Now you have the silent seal, the authority decree, and the enemy scan. You are no longer surviving time, you're governing it. And because you're properly aligned, let me tell you what's coming next. Within the next 2 hours, resistance will rise briefly. One last distraction, but you won't fall for it. By midday, you'll enter a flow state you haven't felt in years. Tasks that usually drain hours will finish quickly. Time will feel stretched. Tonight, when your head touches the pillow, there will be no regret, no heaviness, only deep supernatural fulfillment. You won't feel like you made it through the day. You'll know you dominated it. This is acceleration. This is restoration. And there's one final step left. We've studied the tactics. We've armed ourselves with the tools. But understanding alone doesn't secure transformation. What you've received must now be sealed, imprinted at the spiritual level. So when this video ends, nothing can come in afterward and strip it from you. This isn't information anymore. This is activation. Right now, the gates of divine timing are open. I can sense the shift in the atmosphere. Heaven is leaning in. God is ready to mark you for a new timeline. So prepare yourself. If you're seated, straighten your spine. Align your body with intention. If you're driving, place your hands firmly on the wheel. Aware, alert, present. We are approaching sacred ground. This is a commissioning moment. Do not exit. The sealing begins now. In your spirit, close your eyes. We are stepping beyond the clock and into eternity. We are standing on the crystal floor before the throne. Still your thoughts. Focus. Feel that density in the air. Father, in the name of Yeshua, I present this chosen one before you now. You know them by name. You know their story. You saw them rise this morning. You felt the urgency in their chest. You witnessed the fear, the pressure, the quiet panic that whispered, "I'm running out of time." They felt overlooked, delayed, as if opportunity was slipping away. But you say otherwise. You say the door isn't shutting, it's rotating. You say they weren't falling behind, they were being pulled back for momentum. Lord, confirm them now. Let them sense your hand resting on their shoulder. Reveal to them that the loneliness they endured was not rejection, it was protection. The silence was not abandonment, it was refinement. You concealed them to restore them. You slowed them to sharpen them. And now the season of containment is complete. I come into agreement with heaven, and I begin the sealing. I seal the quiet covering over their inner life. From this moment forward, their ears tune into heaven's frequency before the noise of the world reaches them. I station a spiritual watch at the doorway of their mind. Nothing sent to fracture their focus will succeed. When chaos demands their attention, they will have the authority to refuse. They will close doors without guilt. I consecrate the first 15 minutes of their day as sacred territory. I seal authority into their speech. I strip begging from their mouth. I break intimidation and hesitation. I release the voice of the lion into their breath. When they speak, environments will respond. When they command, the day will align. Their words are no longer hollow. They carry weight. They are saturated with faith substance. Now I address the adversary. I speak to every force assigned to disrupt this chosen one in the early hours. I bind the heaviness of sleep. You no longer have permission to hold them down. The pull of shame is broken. I release divine energy into their body. When their eyes open, strength will meet them. I sever the cords of distraction. I dismantle digital traps. I blind envy. I expel comparison. They will run their race, focused, unmoved, undistracted by others' highlight reels. I silence the imposter voice. You are exposed. The lie that says you're not ready is shut down. The lie that says you don't belong here is erased. I declare they are called, they are chosen, they are prepared, they are equipped for this terrain, they are anointed for this acceleration. Now, Lord, I activate restoration. I speak to lost seasons, to delayed breakthroughs, to opportunities that slipped through their hands. I command repayment to begin now. What was taken will be returned with increase. Years of harvest are being compressed into the coming season. I prophesy over the next 24 hours. Tomorrow will not feel the same. The heaviness will lift. The fog will clear. They will wake with joy in their spirit and authority in their hands. I declare divine timing is opening. Step into it. The right connections are already searching for you. The call you've been waiting for is in motion. The agreement is being formed. The answer you've wrestled with for months is dropping into your spirit tonight. I speak alignment over finances. The attack on resources is being reversed. Provision is moving to support purpose. I release clarity. Mental haze dissolves. They will see their position clearly. They will know where to stand. No striving, no forced effort. They will move with grace. Now, chosen one, hear me. Authority is before you. It carries weight. It costs comfort. But it is the only path forward. Will you take it? Will you stop being ruled by time and begin governing moments? Will you lead? If you are ready, open your mouth and say it. Say yes. Say it again. Heaven has heard you. The agreement is complete. The seal is set. You are not who you were moments ago. You are recalibrated. You are positioned. You are dangerous. Stand firm on your coordinates. Do not shrink back. Do not apologize for your authority. Do not look behind you. The ascent has begun. It is finished. In the name of Yeshua, go.